Ah, the Disney Renaissance, responsible for numerous classic and award-winning films, and also The Rescuers Down Under. Following up after the Dark Age of Disney, the company would start work on The Little Mermaid, a project that would change the direction of Disney stories entirely. Not only did we see the return of the Disney princess genre, but also the return of the Disney musical. Almost every one of these movies are cherished, and likely to be someone's favorite movie of all time. There's some real close calls on this list, and if I were to make this list next week, my order would likely change. Today I'll be ranking all 10 movies based on how enjoyable they were to watch, not on how good they were. Leave your own rankings in the comment below. And in the last place, we have Pocahontas. The best part of the movie is definitely the songs and animation that comes with it. Colors of the Wind and Just Around the River Bend are both exceptional, but well, the movie is kinda bad. It's slow, boring, and the characters are dull. They were more bored to be in the movie than I was watching it. The animation outside of the musical numbers is just uninteresting and flat. Now I don't think it's a secret that Pocahontas isn't historically accurate, even the slightest, but it's also disrespectful, and that's
no good.
The first half of The Hunchback of Notre Dame had me in the first half, not gonna lie. It starts off pretty good with the opening segment, but after that, the pace just comes to a halt and we play the waiting game. Waiting for the movie to start, that is. By the second half, the movie picked up and I enjoyed it quite a bit more. Now the villain of the movie is certainly opposing, but kinda went overboard on the creepy and gross aspects of his character. The adult themes ruined my experience, as when I'm watching a movie, I personally am just looking for a good time. Although I like Hellfire as a song, the lyrics again are just too gross for me to enjoy or sing along. And A Guy Like You straight up sucks. It's one of the worst songs in any Disney movie. I didn't care much for Beauty and the Beast. Now when I said I'd be ranking the movies based on my own personal enjoyment, this is what I mean. Because although it might be a critically acclaimed movie, I, didn't like it that much. The romance just doesn't really work for me. It's just a little too weird because the Beast is basically a bear, and he's also rude to Belle. Gaston is a really great character, and I definitely know whose side I'm on. Out of all the films released in the Renaissance, The Rescuers Down Under is definitely the one talked about the least. I didn't even know it existed prior to starting this series. It's one of the only 3 theatrical sequels Disney has made themselves. I enjoyed it, but thought it was a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, it fixed the slow pace of the original film, but on the other, Bianca and Bernard are barely in the film, and only meet the child in the last act of the movie. They could have cut the escape scene, because he got caught anyways, and used the time for more scenes with the main characters, or have the mice meet the boy earlier to help him escape. The villain was enjoyable, as well as his devious sidekick, Joanna. I would love if they took what worked about the first and second movie and combined them to make a third movie on Disney+. Also, it was a tad disappointing they didn't sing the Rescue Aid Society song this time around, as it was definitely a highlight of the first film. By the end of the film, I can definitely say I'm more invested into the characters and world. Tarzan was the last of the Disney Renaissance films. And it's frustrating, as they had the foundation of a Disney great, but messed up in some key areas that damaged the movie a lot. It could have been one of the best Disney movies, but just ends up being a good one. They took an interesting, to say the least, approach to the music. Rather than having the characters sing the music, they have Phil Collins perform the songs and completely butcher them in the process. I don't want to say too much, as I plan on making a separate video about Tarzan and how it could have been fixed. Turk is also one of the most annoying characters in fiction and should have been cut from the movie. Next we have a classic, Aladdin. The music is great, from Arabian Nights, One Jump Ahead, Friend Like Me, and of course A Whole New World. And one I think is quite underappreciated, Prince Ali. Jafar is a great villain, and Iago was never annoying. Right when he was about to cross the line and become annoying, he stopped. Robin Williams' performance as the genie is still phenomenal, and it's easy to see why it became so iconic. The first of the Renaissance era, The Little Mermaid, is a classic from mine and many others' childhoods. I think it's an overall great package, and so did general audiences, as at the time, it broke the record for the highest grossing animated film. The villain, Ursula, is great, as well as Prince Eric being the most developed prince at the time of release. The music in The Little Mermaid is some of the best Disney has ever produced. The upcoming live-action remake is said to have 4 new songs. I look forward to seeing if they hold a candle to the original track. Also on this watch, I noticed that Sebastian sings Under the Sea with a blue lobster. Entering the top 3, in 3rd place we have Mulan. I think Mulan is a wonderful movie and protagonist. Her effort into becoming a warrior is believable and inspiring. And it has good music too, with songs like Reflection and I'll Make a Man Out of You. And following up after Mulan, we have Hercules. Hercules is just a fun movie to watch. It's not the most serious, but it has one of the best villains, Hades. Deciding whether I preferred Mulan or Hercules was a tough decision, but in the end, a hero is only as good as their villain. Where in Mulan, the villain is pretty one-note and forgettable, Hades is engaging and a delightful villain. And in number 1, to no one's surprise, is The Lion King. I can't deny the brilliance and artistic value of the storytelling abilities. I think it's as close to perfect of a movie we will ever see. With an amazing villain, soundtrack, tone, and ending. The villain's Scar is cunning and manipulative. I never noticed when I watched the movie before that his song, Be Prepared, has symbolism to Nazi Germany.
What am I going to do with him?
He'd make a very handsome throw rug.
Zazu.
That's my ranking of the Disney Renaissance. Subscribe, as next time we'll be taking a look at the experimental early 2000s.